everybody, Reefgrrl here, and welcome to Reefgrrl Live. I'm so glad you could make it. The whole idea here is to have some fun, chat, ask a few questions, maybe show us what you're doing, and get to know each other a little bit better. So sit back, relax, grab a drink. The stream is about to begin. So here we are, Saturday night again. I'm sorry I missed last week. It was just one of those things, but we're back now. And I was just sitting here while I was waiting for everything to play, just thinking, Monday is the summer solstice, which is the longest day of the year. So Monday is the day to get things done. Anyway, there's still only 24 hours, I guess. So welcome, everybody. Got 5 people right off the bat. You know what? That's pretty good on a really nice June weekend. That's awesome. Hey, Tony Close, UK Reef. Coroplast, great idea. Yeah, you watched my lids video covering up sumps or tanks. He is going to catch up with the replay tomorrow. So thanks for dropping in and saying hi, Tony. And then we've got Filipino Reefer. Hola from Coney Island. Wife and little one enjoying the rides. Cool. Hello, Reefgrrl. What's up, Reefers? Fun day. See, that's what I'm talking about. I hope you're really taking advantage of the nice weather and the chance to get out. This time last year, I'm having dyslexia of speaking all day. This time last year was not so great. Hello, Dells Reef. Glad you could make it. And there's MB Reef. Nice to see you. B Speak. Hey, B Speak. And Waterhouse Jason, happy Father's Day all. Yes, happy Father's Day to everyone who's a dad. And I guess that's tomorrow. We are going to our daughter's place for family dinner. Looking forward to that. And hopefully it'll be a nice day weather-wise so we can spend some time outside. So today we spent a lot of time outside working on our front landscaping because we finally got grass in the front on the whole lot, and now my husband's building some walls to put some plantings and stuff. So I got to hold the gun, the PL glue gun, to cement the stones, to glue the stones together. So as long as I remembered to do it, as soon as he walked away to get a stone and didn't stand there chatting to the neighbors, I had it ready for him when he came back. So, but it's done, and now it's just a matter of filling in with dirt, etc., and planting the plants that we've had on our porch for about a month. So that's what's going on outside our house right now. Hey, Carlos 23, nice to see you. Hillbilly Reefer, hello. Broke Reef Man 45. Glad you could make it, Paul. So yeah, I don't really have any. Well, actually, I do have a bit of news to report. I don't know if you saw my Instagram, but I think I might have talked about this last week. Well, I wasn't on last week, so maybe 2 weeks ago. All for Reef powder. So I got some. I ordered it from Germany, and I'm going to use it to dose the OT, formerly known as Mollywood. So I have my trusty magnifying glass so I can actually read the instructions. And because the glasses I have don't work for that, it has to be a magnifying glass, which I keep with me at all times. And I'm going to check into how it's mixed. I did read a little bit here and there. Somebody asked about using warm water and all of this kind of thing. So I don't know. I'll wait and see. I'll read it and see how complicated it is. And I need to do some testing on that tank first, which I had hoped to do today, but I didn't get around to it. So it'll have to be tomorrow or tomorrow night, or maybe Monday. Monday's the longest day. So we'll see how I get on with that. I'm really looking forward to setting up dosing again in that tank because there are a couple of stony corals in there, as well as a huge, massive colony of green hairy mushrooms and a gorgonian. Trying to think if there's any other leathers in there. There's a bunch of zoanthus. There's pulsing xenia. So it probably would be good to get the parameters in line. Last time I checked ALK, it was 8.3, which is good, but I didn't check anything else at that time. Well, phosphate and nitrate, which were not good. And so I've been working on getting those evened out, and we'll see where that is now. And yeah, I can get on with dosing, set up my little dripping pro, which is identical to um, the little Camor X1, is it? With the single pump. And the Dripping Pro came out before that, and I was able to get one, same price, and has an app and all that kind of thing. And I used it for Mollywood when I was dosing the All for Reef liquid, and it worked perfectly. So I'm going to go back to that because that tank, the parameters in there were always really pretty good. I think it's over 3 years old now, so no, that's not true. It's 2.5 years old, coming up on 3. So it's reached a level of maturity that it is starting to run a little bit better on its own. It also is home to zillions of pods, and there are regular rotifer hatches all over the glass every couple of days. And I know the parameters are better in terms of nutrients now than they were because we don't get film algae on the glass nearly as much as we used to, and the little bits that we get are loaded with rotifer hatches. So I scrape them off, and my little royal grandma is finally coming out to see me when he sees me approach the tank, he or she, because they know food's coming. So it's good to be able to see that little fish out and around because it is very tiny. I bet you it's 1.25 inches, maybe 1.5 inches. So I want to get it to a decent size before it comes to live in the display tank, in which space I'm sitting right now, because of course it isn't here. So, hey, Detroit Hammer. So yeah, that's kind of, you should join live. I want to see your magnificent, spectacular display. Who are you talking to, Benny? MB? LOL. Yeah, MB, I hear, or I understand you're setting up a new tank. I wouldn't mind hearing what's going on with that. Since you didn't get to show it somewhere else. I shouldn't have said that, but be nice to see what you got going on. So what else is new? Fish-wise, oh yeah. I think I spoke a couple weeks ago about trying to get a dosing system that's kind of being started to be talked about. It has been around for a few years and has been sold in the local area where it's produced. And it is a 2-part, A and B, and it reminds me of the balling system where I think it uses the salts type of calcium and alkalinity additives, but it includes trace elements right in each liquid. So I don't know what the alk has in it, but I know for sure that the calcium has a bunch of trace elements. The alk might have some strange ones like maybe manganese and strontium. I have to do some more reading to get the details down, but I have arranged to get some of that stuff here in Canada. I'm having it shipped, and this company also makes food, 2 types of food only, one for SPS corals and one for LPS corals. So when I set up my Red Sea Reefer tank, it was kind of a dream of mine to be able to work with one system, one company, one system, where there weren't 1,000 products. That's an exaggeration, but that's how I felt about it, that you had to choose from. Do you need it? Do you not need it? Do you need this? Oh, but you can't use this if you're using that. And they're all made by the same company. So this company has A, B, they have a methanol-based equivalent to Nopox, and they have 2 types of food, A and B. That's all they have. And so I've ordered one of everything except for the Nopox equivalent, because I still have a lot of that, and I haven't been using it lately, but I will if I have to. So that's going to be coming pretty soon, I think. And that is what I'm hoping to use on the main system. Until I get a calcium reactor online and running, I'm going to look into setting up calc again. I don't know if I'll go the calc stir route with the slurry and all of that. Not 100% sure. I have to do a lot more research into it to see if I'm willing to accept the risks based on the mistakes that I make, the things that I forget to do, the things that I don't quite do correctly. I know myself, and I'll have to assess the risk of using something like that when it's not going to be automated. So we'll see. But I'm looking forward to getting this other product, I'll do a video on it. I bought it. I'm not sponsored. They did give me a price break to get some into Canada, but by no means is it is costing me. It's costing me almost as much for the shipping as it is for the actual products. So yeah, I will do a video and tell you guys all about it and see what happens. It's pretty impressive looking at their marketing materials, looking at their evidence of how it works. And they grow their own corals, and they show those corals regularly on Instagram, and we'll see what happens with it. So I'm kind of excited about that, because if it can get me towards simplifying everything to where I'm not looking at 5 or 6 bottles in my fridge of stuff that I have to add, um, then that's for me. The simpler, the better, and then I can focus on doing a little bit better managing my tank and managing the livestock. So we'll see. Let's see. Oh yeah, Benny and MB are talking about MB's tank, and Benny says it really does motivate me to stay in the hobby. Yeah, Benny, I hope you do stay. And I mean, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, it's understandable when you need a break once in a while, but it'd be good if you did stay. Hey, Lynn Reef Nerd, glad to see you. Glad you could make it. Listening to beautiful vibes. Hey, Andrew, hi from the UK. Hey, Andrew, I hope you got my email reply to your question, and I thought I would wait until we get, well, maybe a few more people. We have 17 right now, which is awesome, so that we can ask the question in a broader range of perhaps experience. So it's a really good question, and I think it'd be interesting to discuss it. Detroit Hammer, hello. Carlos, hard to be a reefer in Canada. Everything is hard to get there. Yeah, you said you got that right. It's, you have to be willing to just hold your nose and pay the price, essentially. And I'd much prefer to spend my money on livestock, but you can't. You have to have the environment in place, and a lot of that stuff is just prohibitive to get here. For the shipping, it's actually cheaper to ship from Europe than it is from the US. So that's why I tend to look that way when I'm looking for something, especially if it's made in the EU or somewhere like that. So yeah, it's, you know, you do what you can with the budget you have available, and that's all you can do. I have to wait from one step to the next, and let let the coffers replenish themselves. And yeah. Okay. Joseph Posada. Hey, Joseph, how are you? Are you testing for all this? What do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean, testing for all this. Okay. Carlos and Lynn. Yeah. You know what? When do you get to just sit and watch the life? I think it took me, I don't know, a couple of years to realize that keeping a reef tank is like gardening. And it took me a couple years to realize with gardening that you don't just plant the stuff and then it grows and it's all good and you just sit there and watch it. There's a lot of maintenance, and you have to take care of it. It's an ongoing thing. And a reef tank is like that. So there's a lot of work that you have to do to support the environment that you're keeping your livestock in, so that everything's healthy and you have a chance to sit down and look at the beauty. And if you take shortcuts, this is my own experience, it's not just my opinion, it's my experience, but maybe this doesn't happen to other people, but if you try and take shortcuts, or if you get lazy, you pay the price. And unfortunately, the price that you pay is the potential of your livestock dying or suffering or not being healthy. So for me, that's a big motivation to get this right. Having said that, there are certain things that I know I fall down on because they're onerous, because they're hard to do, they're not convenient, they're expensive, and I do my best to recognize if that's what the problem is, as opposed to just being lazy, because that happens too. And I try to overcome that and just do the best I can to keep really, really high quality water. So I guess number one of that is testing, and I really hate getting out all 5 test kits and making a big mess in the kitchen and all the rinsing and the cleaning, and I have something coming up for that too. And, I'm not gonna go too much into it because I don't know whether, what I'm looking for is actually something that's going to be available or whether the back order is gonna be for, like, months and months and months instead of just the few weeks that I've been told that it is. So, I'm looking at a testing system, and it's equivalent in price to maybe an Alcatronic or maybe a little more expensive than that. But man, oh man, the convenience of it is going to make up for that over and over. So, you know, I hate to sound so mysterious, but I don't want to just go on talking about it until I can prove to myself that yes, it can be done. I can acquire this thing. Here's what it's going to cost. Here's what you have to go through to get it, and be actually able to give some good information that people can look at and say, okay, now I feel equipped to go out and do that, or oh my God, there's no way. So that's why I'm kind of keeping a little bit quiet about a couple of things that I've found out and done the research and spent a lot of time working on trying to get here. So we'll see what happens. Okay. Yeah, all the dosing stuff. Yeah, it's true, Joseph, but you know, once you get it set up for dosing, you do the testing, you figure it out, you carry on testing to prove that what you've set it at is correct and make adjustments if you need to, then you have an opportunity to just really just stand in front of the tank and stare at it. Or in my case, I have my chair right over there in the corner at the front corner of the tank with a full view of 2 sides. I'm hoping I'll be able to sit there with my little footstool someday when the tank ever gets here and just enjoy the fruits of my labor, if you like. So we'll see. Oh, there's Lynn talking about Rap New York. Detroit Hammer. In the winter in Michigan, the garden looks dead. Yeah, but there's a lot going on under the surface. We know that. Oh, cool. Joseph, my tank has started and has life all over the live rock. I love every bit of all of it. Oh, yeah. And if you haven't already, get a flashlight and a magnifying glass and take a look at it after the lights are out, because you'd be amazed at the creatures that you'll see in your tank that you didn't know were there, that only come out at night. Some people use a red flashlight because that wavelength is invisible to the sensory organs of some of these creatures, eyes in some cases, not in others. And yeah, it's the amount of time I've spent staring in my tank, sitting on a chair with my face right up against the glass with this little flashlight or in a magnifying glass in one hand and a flashlight in the other. Because, you know, you have to hold it over your head or all you see is the glare from the glass of the reflection of the flashlight. It's just, it's a little crazy. Hey, Reefing with O, hope you're doing well. You need an auto tester. It might not be auto, but it is going to be, if this thing actually does come back in stock, I've paid for it. And apparently of the 8 units that were ordered, 6 were spoken for, and I bought the 7th because they've been out of stock. I think it has a lot to do with supply chain issues around computer chips and things like that. So that's why I'm not gonna get too excited until it actually lands here. But yeah, it's not automatic, but it is convenient. And that's equally as good to me because I don't have to mess around with bottles of reagents and clogs and tubes and cleaning and maintenance. It's just, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Let's see. Absolutely do it. Hillbilly Reefer. I'm done dosing. I'm 2 weeks into a 4-week wait for a new Geo calcium reactor. Oh, Hillbilly Reefer. So you must have a decent sized tank where it makes sense to go from the dosing over to the calcium reactor. Yeah, that's kind of when it happens. is when I was listening to Fish of Hex earlier today, a live stream, and he was talking with someone someone asked a question about switching, and the person who asked was dosing at that time 250 milliliters, a cup a day of each of 2 parts, and is just waiting for a calcium reactor to arrive. And that's what Travis said. He got up to 280, I think he said, and finally went to a calcium reactor at that point, because it gets expensive if nothing else. And plus you're constantly refilling containers, and if you run out, it's major, because if it takes a cup a day and you're out and you don't realize it for a couple of days, that can cause problems. Hey T40, I hope you're doing well. It's great to be in this community finally. Yeah, welcome Joseph. Glad to have you, and maybe someday you'll be able to get the link and come on the live stream and show us what you're doing. And believe me, I understand it's out of some people's comfort zone to do that. I was in that boat at one time, but we do our best to make sure everybody can relax and not be nervous, and we'll figure it out. And I love seeing what people are doing. So anytime anybody wants to ask for the link, here, I'll get rid of the thumbnail banner, and I will put up the email banner. So if anybody wants the link, there we go. Just send me an email. I've got my phone right in front of me, and if I don't see your email, just drop in the chat that you've sent me an email. Okay, and girl is GRRL. It's not GIRL. That's a different Reefgrrl. And if you search that on YouTube, you might spend some time there, but that's not me. Hey, Rogue Aquariums. Nice to see you, Darren. Darren, your stuff is really coming along, I think, based on what I see on Instagram with frag tanks and everything else coming in. So that must be some system that you've achieved at this point after, what was it, maybe a year and a half ago, I think you started all that? I seem to remember the first time I came across it, you were welding a stand, if I remember right. And a lot of the stuff that you're doing now is like, it's becoming extensive. Carlos, Alcatronic is where I'm going after talking to the owner, and real reefer reviews convinced this is the right way to go. Yeah. Yeah, there's the Alcatronic and the KH director from GHL, and the Ion director, which I can't decide whether it's actually been released or not. I don't know whether it's still in the open launching phase. I'm not sure. And then there's Alcatronic, and there's the Trident. Yeah, but I'm unwilling to undertake the maintenance and monitoring that's required to keep those things up and running when I have an option like what I'm hoping I'm going to get. So we'll see. It's $4 and something a test Canadian, but you get to test all of your parameters, and I'm not saying anymore. I'm using Rogue Aquariums. I'm using 2-part right now until probably next year. Then I'll convert to a calcium reactor. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. It's you go in stages. First it's water changes, and then they don't keep up, and then it's dosing, and sometimes it's an all-in-one, and sometimes it's a multi-part, and then that can't keep up, and then you start understanding that your trace elements need to be maintained, and because once you slow down on the water changes because you've started dosing, the trace elements are affected depending on what you choose to use for your dosing. And then you got to get into that, and it's all in stages. So you get the calcium reactor, or sometimes calc is in there, because usually it's tied in with alkalinity and pH. Keeping those stable usually is what works. And calc gets in there, then you go to the calcium reactor, and you're back in balance again with the addition potentially of trace elements that are in the calcium reactor media. And yeah, it's like a constant like a ladder that you step up when it comes to maintaining the levels of like the water parameters that you need to keep everything healthy. It is not simple. I used to think it was simple, But yeah, no, it's not simple. Who else we got here? I don't want to miss anybody. Big O. Big O. Now you know 4 people that have a trident down. Cheapers. Hey, Hector, nice to see you. Calypso's Reefs is here. Cool. Thank you. I'll be doing a multi-part series on the 600 and the frag tank. Nice. Yeah, I am not converting well to the new way that YouTube notifies us of what's going on with our subscribers, because I can't seem to keep up with what people are doing. We used to get an email and I thought, oh, so-and-so's got a video on X. And I would click on it and go to the video and watch it. Doesn't happen anymore. Apparently you have to go to your homepage and look at your notifications. And I have like 260 notifications. It doesn't work for me. And as a result, I'm not fighting my way through that to try and look at what people are doing. And it's kind of sad because I think I'm missing out on a lot of what's been going on with people and the progress that they're making and the interesting things they're learning and sharing. So this summer I have to figure out a way to get myself in a routine where once a day, whatever time of day it is, I sit down and I look at what's going on and I make a list and I follow up on that. And once that list is done, 3 or 4 things, then I go back. That's the only way I can do it. Those emails were awesome because all I had to do was look down the list and click on one and I'd be done. And I wouldn't have to go anywhere special because it was convenient. So I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that's a rant, but I'm so disappointed in that happening on YouTube now. It just makes it really hard, and I feel bad that I'm not keeping up with what people have got going on. So that's my goal for this summer. Once all of this tank stuff is out of my brain and up and running, and I have some time, you sit in that chair over there. And I'll start watching people's videos and interacting again, because that's why I'm loving this, because I can at least keep in touch with you who are here and know what you've got going on and the questions that you have and the struggles that you're having and the successes. And it's kind of a substitute at the moment for being able to watch actual YouTube videos. So, oh, cool. 25 people. Welcome, everybody. Hey, Davis Jew. How's it going, Don? There's Marcus Aerolus, 187. I missed you guys last week. Yeah, slow is the process. Oh, yes. Hey, Phil, listening in but can't stay in chat, chasing a puppy around. Oh, man, if you haven't seen Phil's new puppy, he has pictures on Instagram. Her name is Lily. She's, I guess she'd be 9 weeks old now, Phil, Boston Terrier. What an adorable little pup. And it almost makes me want a dog again, but I don't know. My life right now is such that I don't think I'd be able to take very good care of it. So maybe once things settle down, might take a look at that again, because I absolutely love dogs and cats, but I think I'm more of a dog person. Don't tell the cat, he's right over there. Hey, Johnny Martinez. Hey, Cindy, hope all's well. Been doing a lot of different tests and VA visits, one day at a time, enjoying your stream and listening to all our fellow reefers. That's good, Johnny. I hope things are going well for you and you're making progress with what you're going through and getting what you need for help. And it's good to see you. I appreciate you spending the time here. The Mastertronic will be available in July. So Darren, that's the one that combines the KH director and the Ion director together. Oh no, wait a minute. No, I'm thinking of something. I'm thinking of GHL. The Alcatronic is from the different company. So the Alcatronic, they're coming out with the Mastertronic, which does the other parameters, which I'm not sure whether they include nitrate and phosphate, but for sure magnesium and calcium, along with the alkalinity, if I'm remembering right from what I've read. Reef Keeper, run, man, run. Puppy going to keep you busy. Oh, yeah. Dell's Reef says he wants Mastertronic. He or she wants Mastertronic. And Rogue Aquariums has had 2 tridents and haven't had any issues so far. Has 2 tridents. Cool. Cool, cool. Okay. Oh, jeepers, the comments just jumped. Ah, Marcus Aurelius is also listening and reading about rock types. Nice. Everybody saying hi to everybody. Detroit Hammer, gotta go. Grandson birthday party. Peace out. Cool. Well, happy birthday to the little fella, and thanks for coming by. I appreciate it. Benny. Filipino. Yo, Hector, go join live. Yeah, sure, Hector. You got the link. I sent it to you. So, yeah, if anybody has any questions or anything, I still haven't found out whether my tank broke the builder's leg when they dropped it. But I'm pretty sure it got shattered. And my fish store guy said it looks to him like it's just being built. So, yeah. But that, that was over 2 weeks ago. So I don't know. I just have this feeling that one of these days I'm going to hear a truck out front and I'm going to grab my phone and get it ready because it'll be a DHL 53-foot semi trying to back into my driveway with my tank, and I'll get no notice. That's how this thing has felt all along. And that's why my husband's been working so hard outside out front, because we're building little terrace garden walls to put plants and stuff in. So in the driveway on May 30th, because I forgot to phone and change the delivery date to push it out a little, they showed up with 2 skids of garden wall stone. And then the next day we decided to go ahead and order some river rock, which is like the 1 or 2 inch stuff to use to put along the side of the house, and some stone dust. So I don't know if this happens with reef tanks. I bet you it does. When there are calculators available to see how much you need of something, he followed their calculator and ordered what he thought he needed, but it was like 3 times as much. So we've got 2 piles of stuff in the driveway that has to be navigated around to bring my tank in. If it should show up like next Monday, it's going to be major issues getting it actually into the garage. So anyway, I hope not, but I don't know. And nature abhors a vacuum, because usually when there's a vacuum of information, what gets sucked in is dirt. So there you go. Hey, Cindy, send me a link. Okay, let me see. Did I not put you on my... Let me just see if I put you on my list, because usually that's what I do. Oh, this is in reverse order. That's weird. Okay, MB, would you mind sending me an email? Because I know I have an email from you, but I don't know where it is. And it's going to take me a minute to scroll through all the other emails and find it. Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm wrong. Here it is right here. Oh, okay. All right, I will do that. Yep. Sending it now. I am not very good at doing this with my phone, because I have to go too many different places and get things, and then go back and get the draft. Okay. Okay, here it comes. Cool. And I will add you to my list before every stream, about usually an hour and a half or 2 hours before. I send a list out to everyone, or a link out to everyone who has been on before. And I must have just forgotten to add you to that list. So I will do that. And then every week, until you tell me to stop because you're sick of the spam, I'll send you an email, and then you'll have the link. And if you decide you want to jump in, you'll already have the link. So Cool. Awesome. Awesome. So yeah. So that's kind of it. I told you guys a couple of weeks ago about getting some new fish, and I have the Royal Grandma, and it's a nice little fish. I think I was saying earlier that it now comes out to, when it sees me, it comes out from under the rocks where it's hiding. And I think because it expects to be fed. So I usually do try to give it something when it comes out like that, just to keep enhancing that behavior. And somebody guessed correctly that one of the fish that I'm waiting to get, well, because it's being treated right now in quarantine, is a purple tang. And the other is one of my all-time bucket list fish, and it's a Desjardins sailfin tang. Both of them are tiny. The purple tang's 2 inches, and the Desjardins, I think, is 2 inches, maybe a little bit bigger. So those fish, when I get them, are going into the OT, the observation tank, which is a running tank. It's still going. It has a clownfish, and it has the Royal Grandma, and both are doing really well. Once they get through quarantine, they're going in there for me to observe them, make sure they're eating, make sure they're not fighting, and that they're big enough to go into one of the 2 stock tanks in my sump. Because there's so much algae in there. That's one of the reasons I wanted a couple of herbivores. I'm going to try and get a fox face at some point down the road, but I'm going to wait until I have the display set up before that. And even then, I may not need it right away if there's no algae. Depends on how good a job I've done curing my rock to see when I actually put it in the tank and turn on the lights and get everything circulating, to see whether it does go through a stage of having algae. So I hope it won't. It shouldn't, but that doesn't mean it won't. So we'll find out. And then the other tang that I got, which I still have to pick up, is a white cheek tang, is what they called it. It's also called a gold rim tang. It's Acanthurus nigricans, Acanthurus nigricans, mostly blackish purple with gold, like bright yellow, above and below the body on the fins. And I'm trying to think if it has a band on its tail. I think it just has a white tail. And it has a white dash under its eye on each side. So being an Acanthurus tang, it looks like a powder blue, powder brown. It's that body shape, but it's different coloring. So, and it's small, 3 inches. So that's another herbivore to take care of some of the algae I got going on. So we'll see. I'm hoping to get those in the next week or so, but it depends a lot on the LFS schedule, because they need to come here and scope out what they need to do for plumbing to install my tank when it comes. So when it does arrive and we're ready to go, they will be bringing the stand in the house and putting it together, getting the tank on the stand. That's something I still have to organize. I'm not quite sure yet what the logistics of that are going to be. And once the tank is on the stand, then we'll be drilling the holes in the floor for pipes to go downstairs and taking care of the plumbing. They're going to do all that. And then I have to start putting water in. And that's where this question came up from Andrew Hudson about how you join 2 tank systems together. And I think I'll read it to you. I think there's probably enough people now who might have a broad enough experience to be able to help with this question. Okay. Andrew Hudson in the UK, he was here a little earlier, if he's still here. I have a Red Sea 300 XL, about 66 gallons, just over a year old, and have just bought a 3 foot by 2 foot by 18 inch frag grow out tank, which I intend on running from the RS 300 sump. So it'll be a bigger volume of water in total. I overspec'd the skimmer, etc. when I set up the sump in the first place. I don't want to crash the original tank when I combine them, so this is what I thought of doing. And this is kind of the same situation I have because I have an existing system. It's running. Yep, cool. Andrew's still here. And when my new tank comes, I have to get it full of water, keep it circulated, keep it heated, and then at some point flip the switch to join them all together. I have no idea how to go about it. I have a plan, but I'm not sure whether there are parts of the plan that might not be such a good idea. But this kind of relates to what Andrew is asking. Okay, so he said, in the first instance, have the new tank filled with water to the same parameters as the original with no rock or sand, then turn on the flow to the combined setup. So essentially add the new water that's matched in parameters to the existing system, to the combined sump, sorry. After a week or so, for the bacteria to coat the surfaces of the new tank, I'd add a rock, then a week later, another rock, and so on until I have the correct amount of rock, then add some sand, probably live sand, every week until I have enough. And he's planning on using a 2-inch diameter acrylic, or as it's called in Britain, Perspex tube. So hopefully it won't make all the water cloudy. Yeah, I'm facing the same issue, trying to get sand in with water in because my rock will be live when I put it in there. He says, I expect some issues like dinos and algae, but do you think this approach is correct, or can you all suggest a better way? As long as I can stay awake in the middle of the night, I'll comment on the live stream. So any ideas, anybody? I did write back and suggest that he could start now by, if he has space, putting some rock in his sump already, in the tank that's already running, and start seeding it. Now, I don't know, he may already have started that and just be moving the rock from one to the other, but I don't think so. So if it's possible to put some rock in the sump of the existing tank, or even in the display, if you have space, just temporarily, it at least will start the process of becoming live, if you like. Now, I can see why you might be reluctant to put rock in your display out of concern of it getting algae and diatoms and all of that in your display. I get that. But if you have room in the sump, that might be a thing you could do. And I also suggested that it might help to take some sand from his existing system and seed the new system with it once he has the sand in, or even before he puts the sand in, the new sand. So those were just the two suggestions I had to offer immediately. So let's see what everybody has to say. Oh, first of all, Camaro Kid said, I saw a wrasse at local fish store today, same colors and markings as a mocha clown. No idea what it was. Not a dragon wrasse, no. I think I know the wrasse that you mean, and it's one that gets really, really big. If I get a minute when MB or somebody comes in, I'll take a look and see if I can find it. I'm picturing in my mind, it's mostly kind of orangey red and it has white saddles on it. Is that anything like what you saw? Okay. Rogue aquariums. People don't realize how much it takes to get a larger tank running. Well, mine is 6 times larger than the Red Sea tank I had in water volume. So and in my experience so far, yep, you can pretty much multiply everything by 6. And when you think about it, 1 bucket of salt mix, I use the Tropic Marin Pro Reef, will make anywhere from 160 to 200 gallons of salt water. So you need 3 of them just to fill the tank once the first time. So that's why I have a couple stashed. I think I've bought about 8 or 9 of those things so far since I've been using it. And for the new tank, I had at least 3 on hand because you can't risk all of a sudden having not having any or not being able to get any. And I got my last 3 just before everywhere went out of stock. So I think it's still out of stock in a lot of places. Camaro Kid, yes. Yes, okay. I'll look it up, Camaro Kid. Multiple aquariums. Hey, multiple aquariums. I owe you an email, and I know months ago you wrote and asked about live streaming or something. So I did flag your email the other day when I realized who you were and that you had got in touch. And I will get back to you because I feel awful that I haven't answered you. And yeah, we can chat. And apologies for that. So we'll figure it out. Marcus Aurelius, there's a good website called Fishbase. You can see many fish from around the world's oceans. Tough to operate, but may fish times. But many fish times. Many fish types. Could it be the clown wrasse? Well, let me see if I can find a picture. Clown wrasse. I remember the first time I saw a harlequin tusk fish, and it was at the Vancouver Aquarium in 2016. Yep, that's it. That's the one I'm thinking. The clown wrasse Chorus gainiardi. I don't know if I can show this to you. Chorus guimard. Okay. Can you see that? Is that it, Camaro Kid? Let me know if you need me to show you that again. Juvenile looks like a normal clownfish, kind of doing image search. Oh, hey, ATF in the house. Happy Father's Day wishes, everyone. Same to you, if you're a father. Yeah, clown wrasse. And let me see how big they get. It is a really cool looking fish as an adult as well. Yeah, 40 centimeters in length, that's 16 inches. And you know me and wrasses. Somehow I don't think I'm going to be doing wrasses very anytime soon. Those are juvenile colors, yeah, the orange and white. It's a pretty stunning fish. Hope all my tanks hold up in this 5 days plus vacation, visiting the grandchild. Oh, congratulations, Grandpa. You get to visit your grandchild for Father's Day. That's awesome. Rogue aquariums. Yeah, it does change in adult size, and it is a beautiful, beautiful fish. But I haven't read anything about temperament. All I know is that early on, when I first saw it, I decided it was one I needed to avoid. What's the ETA on your tank, Rogue Aquariums? Still don't have one. And that's why I said earlier, I'm kind of at this point expecting to just have it show up when it shows up without any notice. I did ask about shock stickers the other day, as suggested by, I think it was Alex, and somebody else suggested that I ask for shock stickers so that there can be like a noticeable indication if there is any rough handling in transit. Because that's the other part. We're not going to unwrap it and fill it with water in the garage. It's not going to happen. It's going to have water put in it inside the house once it's on the stand. And a little bit at a time. We're not going to go nuts with the water because 50 gallons, I think I figured 50 gallons will fill 3 inches, roughly. 56? Yeah, roughly 3 inches of water, not quite. It's going to be 50 gallons. So if we put 50 gallons in at a time, we do have hoses that we can use to run upstairs and pump in from downstairs. And we have the pumps that we need for that. So if we do that, then we'll just let it sit for a week and then add another 50 gallons. I'll keep it circulating because a couple inches is enough to fit couple of nano circulating pumps. I have a couple of Seachy nanos that are quite small. And we can lay a heater down in there just so that the water doesn't get out of whack. And just do it 50 gallons at a time. And that's going to be our leak test. After it traveling 3,000 miles, I'm taking my time, making sure that everything's good. Yeah. Oh, hey, Benny. Marcus Aurelius. 16-inch wrasse sounds like trouble. Oh, yeah. Listen, an 8-inch wrasse was trouble. That green wrasse, man, oh, man. I don't know if you saw my reefing reality video, but that green wrasse about killed my beautiful Symphilia that I call Buster. He's hanging in there. He's feeding. The red skirt is redeveloping, but I was sure I'd lost him. And the wrasse kept flipping him over and grinding him down in the sand. Now I say grinding him down, but that's probably not what he did. But he was looking for food on the underside, I think. So yeah, that's I just don't. I didn't like the fish enough to put that kind of risk in my corals. So yeah, who's building it for you? Well, I'm not going to say yet because I really do want to get the tank here, and I want to see what kind of a job it is. I want to be able to say, oh my God, this is the most stunning and amazing tank ever built in the history of tanks. And I don't know if I can say that yet. So I'm kind of reluctant to say who's building it. The builder has a really good reputation for quality. And I don't know whether the particular specifications for what he's building for me are a little different than what he's used to doing. And he maybe wasn't quite accurate with timing or supplies or whatever, because he has to supply a 60 by 66-inch pane of glass for the bottom. And that can't be very easy because this isn't like a plywood tank or whatever with those dimensions. It's glass. And the other thing is there was news a while back of a glass shortage, but I was assured that wasn't a factor. And now they're apparently waiting, the last I heard, for acrylic, for the small pieces of acrylic for the inserts with the overflow teeth and the return sections. There's going to be 2 returns. So essentially 4 sections of overflow teeth, and on each side there's one wide piece with the return in the middle, flanked by teeth, and then on the other half the same thing. So if they're waiting for acrylic, it's not going to just be your 3/8 inch or your 1/4 inch standard acrylic that's widely available. It's going to have to be heavier than that. Then they have to CNC the teeth and the returns through this thick acrylic. So, I don't know what the kind of process is for that, what it involves, what the risk is of spoilage during the process. I really don't know. So I feel at this point lucky to have gotten a couple pictures. Why, you're taking all the fun out of it? Yeah, I know. See, the thing is that, like, what it's like in daily life. I get up in the morning and I got plans, right? But before I know it, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and have I accomplished anything? No, I haven't, because the way life is. When we were getting ready to build this house, you can't believe the amount of time you spend looking stuff up on the internet to find out how you compare something to something else. So, for me, for example, getting this Pro Reef powder here, I probably spent 2 or 3 days trying to source it and trying to figure out where the best place was to get it. There were some sketchy kind of websites where I could have ordered it, but I decided instead to go with a well-known company. And like, this kind of stuff happens. So everybody has those ups and downs in life. And I don't know, could be short-staffed, could be he's overwhelmed with small orders, and it's easier to do a whole bunch of small orders to keep the cash flow going. I have no idea at all. So until I get it, I'm going to reserve judgment. And all I can say is it better be pretty damn good. After waiting, we're into week 22 now, waiting for this thing. So that's getting pretty close to 6 months. 26 weeks is 6 months. And, it just keeps dragging on. So I'm hoping the quality makes up for it. I guess I'll have to wait and see. Camaro Kid, Planet. Nope, it's not Planet. I'm in Canada. I guess I don't know if you can get Planet aquariums here. Oh, there's Hector. I didn't even see him. I didn't even hear it. And you know why? Because I got my little streaming device and it wasn't on. Hector, I apologize. I'm going to bring him in right now. Hi, Hector.
Hello. How you doing?
Good. I can hear you. Here's me blabbering on, and I realized I didn't have my streaming device on, so I didn't hear the little plinky noise when you
Yeah.
came in. So I'm sorry. I hope you weren't
No, it's
waiting
all
for
right.
too long. Jeepers. So we're talking about wrasses, etc. ATF in the house. Red chorus wrasse even becomes nicer in coloration as bigger as and does its color change. Yeah. And Camaro Kid. I thought the dragon wrasse was cool till I saw the adult. Yeah. Yeah, they are something else.
I put my headphone. My headphone just disconnected.
Oh dear.
Can
That's
you
what was
hear me?
happening. Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hold on.
Cool.
Here we go with this fake pods.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
It's always something with them.
Yep. Rogue Aquariums. My new sump is 1/2 inch all the way around and the baffles are 3/4 inch black. YouTube vid to come. Wow. That sounds really cool.
Nice.
T Plumber 217. Oh, hi, T Plumber. Savvy. Nope, not Reef Savvy. Now, Reef Savvy is a company where I've heard it can take a year to get a tank. But I think they're upfront about that. My upfront was 8 to 12 weeks. So, now we're heading into, what did I say, week 22. So, yeah. Yeah, Hector, your tank's looking good. So,
Thank you.
did I ask you this? You feel like you recovered from your problems that you were having?
I did. Yeah, and finally learned exactly what exactly happened to the tank. It was the water inside the reactor. It wasn't the phosphate itself.
Oh.
Yeah,
so
there was sulfur water in there.
Yeah, and you know what? Remember my crash where my algae scrubber, I didn't take it out when I shut it off, and the water in there went toxic because of the algae rotting in a no oxygen, no circulation environment. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's exactly basically I put some sulfur inside the tank.
Yep.
Little things happen like that, and oh man, that was bad.
Rogue Aquariums, unless you're BRS. Oh yes, that ain't that the truth. Yep, I guess if you have pull, you should use it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Hector, when I first clued in, when I started to put the pieces together, it was that I noticed that from the return nozzles, there was like a radius of dead stuff.
Ooh.
And that's when I knew that it was something that came from the sump.
Yeah.
Because the water went up and it was just this radius of dead.
Wow.
And that was when I thought, okay, it had to have been something I did, and that's the only thing I did. And I remembered when I took the lid off, I thought to myself, whoa, there's water in here, because I thought it would drain out.
Yeah.
And it never even occurred to me that I should avoid getting any of that in the tank because it hadn't been circulating. The lid had been on, so it would have been warm in there, no circulation, full of algae that was rotting. Yeah. Wow. That just, oh man.
Yeah.
And I liked your video of all your saltwater fish.
Oh, thank you.
That was really, really nice.
It's one missing though. It's one missing from that video.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
the Mandarin. The Mandarin, right?
Yep. Yeah, he's still in the refugium, getting fat in there. He's doing good. Doing really good.
Oh, that's good.
I was gonna move him last night, but then I say, you know what? He looked good in there. He's still, still skinny on the size. You can see the size, a little skinny, but give him a little more time because in there I can at least control the food and how much he's gonna eat and all that.
Yep.
Over here, he's gonna be in the DMT. He's gonna be fighting for food. So
yeah,
I'm over here cleaning some Zayano. Yeah. the nasty cyano.
Yeah, I don't think I think I've only had cyano in the very, very first tank I had. Well, the cube, the 29-gallon cube, I had pretty bad cyano, but
Yeah.
it was in the corners and I just kept pulling it out. Like I didn't really treat anything. But since then, I really haven't had the problem.
I've been having it lately on the DNT. I don't know why, because like ever since, if the 40 gets it, since it's newer, the DNT never got cyano, and now the
Hmm,
40's good and the DNT is getting the cyano.
weird.
I don't know why. Probably the flow, but I seen they got enough flow in there, so I don't know.
Yeah. Oh,
Uh,
so hey everybody. We're trying to get Hector over 1,000 subscribers.
oh,
So if
thank
if
you.
you haven't subscribed to Calypso's Reefs, you're at what, 996 now? I think the last time I looked.
Nah, it keep going up and down. I think it went down to 991.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
like YouTube know that you're getting close, and they just put you back a little,
yeah,
make it work more.
yeah. So I put a banner up with your channel name, Hector. So if anybody's interested and you want to help Hector get up and over the top, there it is right there. Calypso's Reefs, apostrophe S, apostrophe S.
Thank you.
Oh, hey, listen, it's one of those things where it's. I still remember when I went over 1,000. It was like, oh my God, I just felt like on top of the world. It was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Yeah,
get desperate to get there. I don't even watch it no more. Last time we was talking about it and I saw they went back there, I said, forget it.
yeah,
It gets there when it gets there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't so much anymore. I guess part of it is just trying to get into YouTube, even to do videos and stuff and
Yeah, yeah.
answer comments and all of that. And like I said earlier, I spend so little time compared to what I used to.
I know.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. They want you to work harder, you know?
Yeah. Well, good luck with that.
Yep.
Oh, and if you do subscribe, anybody, try and watch one video, and it's good to watch it all the way through. But if you can't, get at least 30 seconds if you don't have time, because if you just subscribe without engaging, YouTube doesn't consider those as like they go through periodically and clean those out. So
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and it's true. Like I always feel like if you're going to subscribe to somebody, you should watch what they're doing, and that's why I feel so terrible that I've got so far behind with
Yeah.
it. ATF in the house. Dragon wrasse, while really interesting and cool looking as a juvenile, will get big and will move everything in your tank. Yes, I've read that about those things. They reorganize rocks and everything else. Oh, see, there you go. T Plumber 217 will subscribe. Awesome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, that's a good goal. Rogue Aquariums. My goal this year is to be a lot more proactive on YouTube and grow my channel. Yeah. Yeah, I love doing the videos. I
Yeah, it's
really,
fun. It's fun.
yeah, and I really like telling the stories. And that's why I try to, I'm trying not to ramble and be too detailed where it's not necessary and all that kind of thing, and edit myself so I can tell the whole story.
Yep, yep.
Because a lot of times there's a payoff. If you go right to the end, it comes full circle and it's worth spending the time. And I love seeing videos like that, where you can get interested in what's going on and get to the end and go, oh, okay. But I really need to learn how to not be so fixated on detail and realize that if people have questions, they can ask questions. And,
Yep.
that a lot of times people need to explore for themselves how to do something or what their idea might be or whatever. So,
Yeah.
I'm trying to improve what I do there.
Oh, nice lid, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
That was nice. Let me tell you, that was a nice lid.
And I can lift those things up with one hand using the finger holes that
Yeah.
he cut in there, and they don't have to be airtight. In fact, they shouldn't be airtight. That's not what you want. But you want to cover those big expanses of open water. So yeah, they worked out great. And then once all the reef is not in there anymore, I can cover all 3 of the big tanks.
Yeah, yeah.
And really, really keep down the amount of top off water that I need, because I use about 3 gallons a day of top off water, and that's in 265 gallons. That's a lot.
Yeah. They use the same material to make the hotel couple pot stuff.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
pod hotels. That's exactly what it is.
yeah, same material. Nice. It came out really nice. Then with the foam around it, oh. Now I want to make a tub like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know, right? Well,
Cool.
and I was trying to think of other applications where even if you got a small piece of that stuff, you could still do the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I thought even something like I don't know, even an ATO container or something where you're taking the lid off and on a lot, and it's a pain in the neck if you have to line it all up or it falls in the water, you know, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Benny says, Hector, when you reach 1K, do Coral giveaway and equipment. Oh, and Davis Jew is a longtime sub here. That's cool. And Marcus Arolis says, which video? So many names. The simple way of reefing.
Wow.
You need to number the episodes.
Way of reefing is live, and I do
yeah. Yeah. Oh, so those are the live streams. Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's basically me just doing water changes, rambling, just messing around the tank.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like having company while you're doing it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
While feeding the tank, cleaning the glass.
Yep.
Working on the sump.
Yeah. Hey, Russell Muldowney. Haven't seen you on here in a while. I'm changing brackish water and spilling it all over my house. Yeah, I think it's been a while. Glad you could make it. I've been doing these every week, except I probably missed 3 or 4 times this year just for various reasons. But I try and do it every Saturday. And then the very last Sunday of the month is an international live stream where it's at 1 in the afternoon on a Sunday to try and catch people around the world who can't make it because 8 o'clock on a Saturday is like 3 a.m. So maybe that's why it seems like I've not been consistent with it, because I don't do the Saturday. Instead, I do the Sunday. So, yeah. Russell Muldown, upped my water change containers. Regret it. Oh, what does that mean? Oh, there you go. Rogue Aquarium subbed you, Hector. Cool.
Oh, thank you.
And Marcus Arolas, take a look now. Just go. Yay! Party time.
Let's see.
Party time on the live stream. Woo! That's cool. Lynn Reef Nerd. Hey, we're talking about goals. This is a good one. This is a good thing to talk about. My goal is to buy corals only with money that I sell. Probably won't happen, but it's a goal. You know what? That's a good goal. You sell corals and buy corals with the money. That would work.
Yeah, I had a guy today that was coming over here, but I ignored the phone call. I feel bad he was coming from far away, but
yeah,
I didn't want to have to. I was doing the mowing the grass, cleaning, cutting my hair, doing a lot of things, so I didn't have time.
Yeah.
To get my hands in it. Oh, plus I was working on the pH because my pH keep dropping.
Yeah.
When the AC is on, so I said, you know what? I'm gonna have to do the skimmer through the line of the skimmer through the window and all that.
Yeah. So
me taking apart the airline from the pump to the little where it connects it for the ear. Where it's get connected, I broke the little piece, so I didn't have no choice but to go to the Lowe's and get more airline. So I finally fixed the pH situation with this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always something little that you wouldn't think of, right?
Yep. Give me 1 second.
Yeah. Marcus Arolis, my friend has a wilderness guide channel. He was under 2,000 for the longest time. He did a giveaway, then shot up to 7,000. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't necessarily have a goal for numbers, but when you see the numbers continue to climb, you feel as if you're reaching more people. And because I really enjoy doing the videos, it's great to know that people are actually watching them. And then you get the interaction in the comments and all of that sort of thing. And that's the part that I really enjoy, is talking to people about it. And like I said, some of the crackpot ideas that I come up with, probably out of every 5, 4 never make it to a video because they're just bad ideas or they don't work. But if one makes it to a video and then you can talk to people about it, it just kind of enhances everybody's experience, I feel like. Oh, BC, this is a good point. Andrew Hudson, Andrew, the person who is connecting 2 tanks together, make sure the sump can handle emergency shutdown overflow from both tanks. Yes, very true. And I think he said it's a frag tank that he's using. So I'm not sure what his return situation might be there, or overflow situation, but that's always a good point. Hey, Mark Teffer. How are you doing? See you. Hi, Reefgrrl. See you. Glad you can make it. Chimp the Reefer's here. What's up, Reefgrrl, Calypso, and everyone? Let me make sure my streamer's working. Oh, I think I just heard you, Hector. Yep, we're good, because I can hear you.
Thank you, people, for getting me to the 1,000.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's mega cool.
I see it. Thank
Congratulations.
you. Now
See
we
you.
can do a live to YouTube.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I guess it'll, hopefully it won't fluctuate over the next couple of days unless it's going up. That would be awesome. And then you can look at with all of your live streams, I wonder about the watch hours. I don't know. If you do, I mean, you may not be interested in going on the partner program, but you might.
Hey, you never know.
Yep. See you. I'm acclimating green tar bouncing mushroom and zoas right now in a 20 long. Oh, cool. Green tar bouncing. Green star. Oh, green star polyps, bounce mushrooms, and zoas. Oh, that's cool. Cool. I don't see any sign of MB yet. Hope you got the link. Hey, Jason Ward. So, Hector, what's next in your reef keeping world? What do you think you're going to do next? I want to see this DIY chiller in action.
What's next is it's gonna be, oh man, it's gonna be a big change, a big one.
Oh, really?
Yes, a big one. I can't say much yet, but it's gonna be a big one.
That's awesome. I had to mute my mic because I had to cough. So
No,
I'm going to do that again.
It's fine. No, it's gonna be a big one. Personal and reefing wise, it's gonna be a big one. Can't say much right now. Too much in my head right now.
Yeah. And you know, it's interesting. I was thinking about this today, that I've been doing the YouTube thing since February of 2016. I've had the channel.
Wow.
And all the people I've had a chance to meet and get to know through all the different live streams and subscribers and comments and videos, and me watching people's videos and making comments and chatting. And it's astonishing, even recognizing the life changes that people go through that you know about because you've known them for so long, you know? Like it really is like having a lot of friends. And I never would have thought of it that way originally, but the amount we get to know about each other, it kind of amazes me because it's such a broad community. We're all interested in the same thing. And yet we all have separate lives that, you know, things change and stuff happens. And I think it's really cool.
Yeah, it is. It is. You connect with so many people from different parts of the world, and it's nice. It's nice.
Yep. Oh, hello, Fletcher, right? Oh,
especially, you know, where all this is going on right now. You can't have people over and all that. It just worked perfect. Yeah.
It fills a big gap.
Yeah.
Rogue Aquariums. My sump was custom built by Clear Fabrications in Seattle. He's built over 2,500 tanks and sumps and hasn't had one tank fail. If anyone's interested in anything acrylic, he can build it. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I have heard of them. Calypso's getting some of that Holy Grail sand. I saw that, oh man, that Holy Grail fish trap. Really?
Oh my God.
Seriously?
Yep.
At first I couldn't figure out what you were showing in the picture. Everybody in chat, Hector on Instagram had a picture of something inside a tank with something, two blue bulbs sticking on the side of the tank, and I was looking at it going, I have no clue what that is. So I started.
It's that new fish trap. It's like a fish bowl,
Yeah,
and then you
yeah,
release it, floats to the top. So
yeah. And the fish goes inside, and all of a sudden
yeah.
it turns sideways or it turns
Mm-hmm.
upright, and he's
Yep.
trapped.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
and they're
people are
called.
calling that the Holy Grail fish trap. I
Oh
said
my God.
everything is Holy Grail nowadays. Oh my God, it's
Yep.
hilarious. It's hilarious. People fall into this name thing and forget it. You know, they just prices go crazy. Rare, super rare, ultra. I don't know what.
Yeah. It's all the marketing. It's the
Yeah,
marketing, and it's the competition,
yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah,
You know, I don't knock it down. I mean, people, hey, if it's working for them, it's working for them.
yeah,
But for a lot of people that are in there for what it is, you know, a hobby, racing animals, racing this stuff that we don't get to see every day,
yeah,
it just makes it hard.
yeah, yeah.
But
Well, what kills me is the torches.
oh yeah,
So the Dragon Soul, the Holy Grail, the
all
Holy Grail Dragon Soul, the Dragon Soul
no,
Holy Grail Ultra.
now
Like,
it's one that is
come
called the
on, people.
now it's one that is called the Holy Grail Highlighter, something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh,
yeah.
it's insane. It's
Hey,
insane.
Hector, do you happen to know what kind of par your A cans are under? Russell Muldowney is asking.
Is they around 150 right now?
150?
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
yeah.
So
This chicken
150.
has taken a lot apart. Before I was cooking them with 500 part,
Oh my goodness.
but they got used to it. So I mean, but I put in the right part now. So
Cool. So 150. So your basically your sand bed
yeah,
would be somewhere around 150 at the edges and maybe a little higher in the middle.
yeah, a little higher,
Yeah,
close to like 180, 200.
yeah.
Yeah,
Now you have the Orfec light over this tank plus,
I got the two Orfex bars,
right? Yeah.
two AI primes, and one Noopsy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's really
the
cool.
Noopsy is off right now. Right now it's only the Orfex and the AI Prime, but the AI Primes are really low.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty soon it's gonna be lights out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing that I fixed. I was doing a lot of things wrong. The lighting, the everything, basically. So thanks to John Silva, he helped me a lot controlling the light schedule.
Nice.
The light part, because I was cooking them. I was getting 800, 700 on top of the water.
Oh my
Man,
God.
yeah.
Yeah.
But Coral seems to be happy, so that's why. I mean, I didn't have a par meter, so
Yeah, when you don't have a par meter, you just don't know. And I have a par meter, but I have to hook it up to, I don't have the meter, I have the sensor. I have to hook it up to my laptop, which means I got to take my stupid POS HP laptop downstairs to the basement. The
yeah.
battery doesn't hold a charge anymore, so I got to plug it in.
Wow.
It has to be close enough to the tank that I can reach the cord and put the sensor in. And it's a two-person job
Yeah.
because you can't look at the sensor and hold it and then look at the laptop and monitor, you know. So that's the reason I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, it's good to know what part we getting in the tank,
Yeah.
and it's good to know.
Yeah.
I didn't show you this one. This is a rescue.
Ooh,
Another. Let's see. They doing good now. The first day they were fighting, but now they good.
nice. And where did you rescue it from?
From a friend of mine. Not didn't have him in a good tank, so
Oh yeah.
yeah, he didn't know nothing about salt water. He just bought it, mixed some water, and salinity was way too low.
Wow.
Hang on back filter. I mean, no, I'm sure it was in cycle.
Wow.
Uh, yeah,
And some store sold it to him, right?
yeah. So, yep, yep. Oh yeah, here they don't care.
Wow.
I don't want to say names, but
No, no.
all the saltwater store around here, they don't care.
Hmm.
As long as you say you got money, you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's sad.
Hey, Marcus Aurelius. Yeah, it is a brand. It's made, the one I have is made by Apogee, but it has a different brand name on it. They produced it for a really short time, and I got it from BRS. I cannot remember, or no, maybe it was Premium Aquatics. It was Premium Aquatics back when I was still able to go across the border and get parcels. And I think it was around $280 instead of the 500 and something. But I mean, it works really well. I have the fiberglass sensor holder. It's just me. I was talking at the beginning of the stream about knowing myself and how lazy I am. Yeah, that's one of the things. If it's a pain in the neck to do, or it involves assembling multiple pieces of equipment and another person, it just, yeah, it tends to not happen. I have SQ from Apogee, hooks up to PC. It is tedious. Yeah. Sounds like Senai. Yeah. Anyway. So what are you doing, Hector? Are you looking for
No,
snails or something? You're just messing.
I'm hiding the Zayano. I
I've
moved
done that.
all these frags to the side because it was around here most of it.
Yeah.
So it's probably because it's not getting no flow around here inside
Yeah.
the tiles on little flat tiles. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to stir it up and then there'd be big chunks of it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't stand the idea of leaving it there. So I would start getting the gravel vac thing out and sucking it out. And then, 2 hours later, I'm still there doing it. And I had intended only to stir it up a little bit. That was the 29 cube when I had the cyano in the one corner. It was crazy. Yeah, Chim says the Senai can be a pain too. Yeah. Now all we need is a $49 accessory for the Hydros controller that does par readings. Wouldn't that be cool, guys?
Mm-hmm. How you liking that skimmer you have, Cindy?
I really like it.
Yeah, really nice.
I hate the skimmer sock
Yeah,
because I'll be
I
doing
could
a
tell.
video.
You
Yeah,
took it out.
I'll be doing a video on that because I can't even remember who I was talking to about this. It was in the comments somewhere. The problem with that sock is it's too long. So what
Okay.
happens is the water goes plunging down the trough into the sock and takes a lot of air with it. And I mean, it's meant to silence the noise from
Yeah.
the water falling, right?
Yeah.
Which I don't care because it's in my basement. So what? It doesn't matter if it's noisy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But one thing I was noticing is that sock gets really, really dirty, and both inside and outside. So that tells me that there are organics or particulates or whatever getting drawn in, pushed through the body and out through that trough and out the sock. So you can't get that thing clean. And when the skimmer's not on, it droops and falls on everything underneath, which right now I have corals there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I decided to tie a knot in the sock, thinking, oh, okay, I'll tie a knot, make it shorter, then it won't be getting into everything and all over the place. Well, the knot floated on the top of the water, but the pump is so strong that it pulled the toe of the sock into the pump.
Oh wow.
and it didn't damage anything, but it meant that no water could get drawn in. So nothing was happening. I went down there and I went, what's going on? Like, it was making a really weird humming noise. And then I saw that the toe of this sock was jammed right up against the intake of the pump. So it's just bad news. And I understand why they did what they did, but it's just a poor design. So I've come up with
Yeah.
something a little different, and I just have to refine what I'm doing and kind of set it up so that I can demonstrate how I made what I made.
Yep.
It's always stuff from Amazon. You know, like the parts that I bought cost $12 to do this.
Oh wow.
So I'm hoping it'll work. I still have to test it. I tried one version of what I was doing, and it was not the right size to work properly. So I have to just make some adjustments and try it again. And in fact, I came up with an even better idea, I think, because of that happening. And so we'll see if I can get that to work. But yeah, I'm just going to put a different attachment to the outflow and take advantage of the fact that it's more water that's coming through dirty and try and filter it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. Rogue Aquariums. I have the SQ420 Apogee that you plug in your laptop with a long cord. Works great and quite a lot cheaper than the MQ510 handheld. Yeah, Darren, I think the SQ420 is the equivalent of the sensor that I have, except it's bio something. It's a different name. I'd have to look it up. And they just made some of them for a particular company and branded it with their name. And I got, like I said, Premium Aquatics had them. They were clearing them out, so got a deal. Oh, so Russell Muldowney, Hector, he was the one asking about the par for your A cans. And he said his close up when the par is over 100.
Oh wow.
And his are in the refugium for now.
Check. I would say check magnesium.
Yeah, maybe.
That's a potential.
Yeah. See you. I'm new to reefing. Dream tank, fresh waters, 210, 150 side by side. Decided to give salting a go. Number one tip for newbie. Oh boy.
What he wrote? You see?
What's that?
What he wrote?
He said he's thinking of giving salting a go. Number one tip for a newbie to saltwater.
Whew.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's so many, but keep it simple.
Yep.
And
Just
find out one person, like always, find out one person. Don't get mixed with everybody trying to do what everybody's doing.
Yeah. I would say don't spend a lot of money until you're sure you like it.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
And keep an open mind and understand that you're going to have a lot of what feels like failures, but they're learning experiences.
Exactly.
Because there really are a lot of roller coaster experiences in this hobby. Not many people avoid that. Some people do. I know of a couple, and they're genuinely, they immediately understood how things should work. But they're few and far between because most of us just bumble along.
Yep. Yeah, like me at the beginning, I was trying to going against the right way of doing it.
Yeah.
And I mean, but then again, it's never a right way. It's what works for you.
Yeah, because every single tank is different.
Well, the principles, if you're trying to go away from the principles, then nope.
Yeah. And I guess maybe a really basic tip would be think of it as maintaining really good quality water. Because if you research the water parameters that you need and you do everything you can to make your water match those parameters, everything will be healthy given the right light and the few other factors. But water chemistry and the proper parameters and good water is probably the single thing that gives most of us the most trouble. Lighting is easy. If you spend some money, or even if you don't spend money, if you can find a way to measure the PAR and figure it out, flow is easy. You can get power heads. There are options that are cheaper than power heads, but to get that really good quality water is a real challenge. Rogue Aquarium. So there you go. Here's a classified ad. Anyone interested in a used Royal exclusive Bubble King 300? Contact Rogue Aquariums. It's a beast of a skimmer. So you never know.
Bubble King.
Bubble King, yep. Marcus Errol is, yes, the one I have also. Johnny Martinez, Hector, he says your zoanthids are awesome.
Thank you. I'm trying to, I don't know, I'm going through issues with them right now. Like this one right here was doing good a while ago. Now is receding. This one also here on the front. But when these were doing good, these here was doing bad.
Weird.
Now these are doing good and these are doing bad. Like the bigger polyps on things.
Yeah. Somebody said iodine is a factor with zoanthids. Like, have you done an ICP test?
I haven't done one in a year. I do dose iodine here and there, maybe every 2 weeks, couple drops of iodine in the tank.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. You were talking about that on your one live stream. I do the same. Somebody said 1 drop of Lugal's once a week. And that was when I had my 90, like the Red Sea tank, the 112-gallon system. 1 drop a week, and every Friday morning, 1 drop of iodine.
And you do see a reaction to them. They reacting to it. But one thing with those, what I learned so far with them is once they start receding is a waiting game. Either they want to come back if they want to, or they don't. You could frag them and see if that triggers a survivor mode. But then again, I come over here and look at what I got.
Yeah.
This I love. This is
the hornets are awesome. Yes. Looks like you got fire and ice at the bottom there.
Yeah, those are the crazy clowns.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then but look, I got the rainbow hornets there.
Nice.
And then the other rainbows right there under the Setosa, they're not doing good.
Wow.
And they came from the same frag, so I don't know. It's like you never know. And then you saw those crazy clown open. Now look at them out of the colony over here, all closed up.
I don't know. Like maybe there's something that's bothering them.
Maybe. All I could think of is sponges. Because that's the only thing I see growing between the polyps.
Yeah, that might be.
Also, the brittle stars, they all over the tank. Those little.
Yep.
What else? I don't know. I mean, spiders, zoanthids, and all that. I don't think.
I don't. That's one of those things that if you got a new frag of zoanthids, you would think, oh, gee, maybe a spider came in. But how long has it been since you got a new?
Oh, Zoas, it's been a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. So you would have seen them before now, I would have thought, if it was a spider.
Yeah.
And Marcus Errol says, move slow, do tons of research. Yeah. Nothing good ever happens fast in a reef tank.
Nope.
Yeah, Darren says, my acans do well with PAR at 125 or under. Yeah. Davis Jew, research.
Yep.
And whatever salt you can afford at the time. Yeah, maintain stability. So many things.
Sometimes I think with salt, sometimes I think is I mean, we mostly use salt Yeah, just to replace trace element and stuff like that, but mostly it's to bring down nitrates and phosphates. So it's just to add some clean water back in the tank. And for me, salt is the same. I have tried different salt, and right now I'm back to reef crystals, and
Yep.
things are working fine.
Yep.
When I used the Red Sea, it was the same thing. I mean, the only thing I suggest just get one that is close to the levels that you want to keep in the tank.
Yeah. Yeah. And
That's the most
personally, I always look for salt that has lower alkalinity than what I want because I'd
yeah,
rather dose up than
yeah,
have a problem with it getting too high.
too high. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Darren Rogue Aquarium says try the Continuum Aquatics Reef Sustain Iodine.
Okay.
And Marcus is asking if you've tried freshwater dipping the zoos, I'm assuming.
Not personally, but when I got them, the guy that I got them from, he always, before he give them to me, he always dip them in fresh water.
Yeah.
But I had them so long that, like right now, trying to keep the phosphates at acceptable where I want them. That's the only thing I'm bottling right now. Everything else is nitrates are 10 ppms right now.
Yeah.
Everything seems to be good. So
Mm.
flow in this tank is decent. Uh, Light is decent. The part in this tank is around 150 in the middle, and then in the outer edges is all 180, 90 depend.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Probably I need to raise it to 700 again.
You
Oh
you
man.
should try moving the ones that aren't doing well over into the other tank by the other ones and see what happens.
I was thinking to doing that and see what happened. Yep.
Because I mean, you're not risking transmitting anything because it's all
Exactly.
one water
Yeah.
system, right?
Well, yep. Oh, look what's here.
There's the man, little chunky guy, looking for some food.
Yep, there we go.
Yeah. My little royal grandma, the new one, eats the really small brine shrimp. And so when I ordered the reef powder, the all for reef powder, to make up the order to get up to 85 euros, which was the minimum order, I also ordered some liquid mysis that Aquaforest makes. And it's a tiny bottle. It might be 300 milliliters, maybe less, 200 milliliters, I think. Yeah, I think it's 200 milliliters, so not much. But the cap on this bottle is made in such a way that even if you wanted to squeeze out a whole bunch of it, you couldn't.
Oh
It
wow.
only comes out one drop at a time, literally. If you
Wow.
wanted to pour some out, you would have to actually unscrew the cap and pour it from the bottle.
Mm-hmm.
So the cool thing is, when I turn it upside down and let the one drop come out, and I turn all the flow off in the observation tank, you can't believe the numbers of little tiny mysis shrimp are in this one drop.
Wow.
There has to be like 100 of them.
100. Yeah.
It's
Easy.
just amazing. And so with the flow off, they gently float down to the bottom and they rest on the cinerina that, I mean, I put it in right above it. And then the little royal grandma comes out and eats them. And it's so awesome to see.
Nice.
And I realized when I got it that the food I had been giving the tank, the other fish, was too big for this fish to be able to eat.
Mm.
So I took some frozen calanus that I had, and that's what I had been feeding it. And so now it's good because he'll be able to have some of these little tiny brine shrimp until it grows up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, hey, Terrence, Little Ocean. Sorry I'm late. No apologies. Glad you could make it. MB Reef is coming back in a bit.
I
Yeah, I
got my
don't.
phone the charger. If it dies, it has 2%. I keep going lower and lower. But I'm here.
Living on the edge.
Yeah, always. Oh man, that's my life.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Hmm. So with all your big changes, are you going to be temporarily without a tank, or are you going to be able to keep it all running?
Yeah, everything's gonna stay running.
Oh,
It
cool.
just, it's too much going on over here, and it gets stressful, and um
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
like that. So, but no, the tank are gonna stay running. Probably what I'm thinking is probably just get a bigger one and put everything in one tank,
Yep.
and that way it'd be easier on me
Mm-hmm.
in some way. So, but with
Yep.
all this spaghetti I got going on in this sump right now, oh my god, Jesus Christ! I got spaghetti going on in there with airlines and
Yeah.
uh,
Oh, yeah. Well,
a sneak peek of the spaghetti going on in here.
and you know what's funny? You start out with one thing,
Yep.
so you run it wherever you need it. And then the next thing that comes in, you go, okay, where do I need it so that it doesn't get all tangled up? So you run it to where you need it. And
But
then the next thing
and
comes in.
it ain't amazing that I could point each and one of them and know exactly where they are.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because you added them one at a time.
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
hilarious. Yeah, my 29-gallon cube was a mixed reef. And of course, every tank I've ever had gets too crowded too fast. And
Mhm.
that's when I decided to create the 20-gallon with a sump. So
Yeah.
it was a 20-gallon long, no, it was a 20-gallon tall with a 15-gallon long sump. And I split that into soft corals in the 29 cube and hard corals, stony corals in the 20-gallon with the sump.
Hmm.
And I had that thing running for, I bet you, less than a year. And I knew that I had to get another tank and everything had to go back together again.
Yeah.
And it was because of that, because of the time it took and all the effort and the testing and to maintain two separate tanks.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a lot of work.
Yeah. It is. It is. When I had the frac tank, oh my god, and the light was out, that was I had enough there.
Yeah.
With that power outage, it was good enough
Oh,
for me.
yep. Yeah, it's amazing the what we put ourselves through. And I remember when my husband got me the Red Sea tank for my birthday, I was so happy, and the first thing that went through my mind was relief because finally I could put everything back into one tank. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm. It's cool. I just saw my yellow card as two markings that I never seen before
Oh, the
in the
two
forehead.
white on the forehead. Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
let's see if you guys can see it. Let's see if he comes this way, because every time I put the camera close, he just go
Oh yeah.
away. But let me see. If you come over here, get over here, and they look kind of like pink marking.
Oh, cool. Well, the green wrasse had rainbows on his face. So all the time he was a beige wrasse, he would come close to the glass and I could see in certain light he had all these beautiful pastel, pale colored rainbows on his whole face from his mouth right back to his gills, his whole head.
I think probably he displaying some type of aggression towards the other race.
Oh,
Yeah,
and what other wrasse do you have in there?
the
Oh,
carpenter race.
carpenter wrasse. Oh, and you
Yeah,
got the cleaner wrasse in there
and the
too,
cleaner
right?
race. Yeah,
Yeah.
but fish seem not to care about the cleaner race at all.
Yeah.
That's the only fish I guess got the okay even from any fish in the ocean.
Yeah.
He got the clearance.
Hmm.
For real, like any fish you put in there, he don't bother nobody. They just go to him first
Wow.
to get checked. I guess he give him the okay. Okay, you can go to your spot now. It's amazing what you see it going on in the tank, how they interact with each other.
Yeah. That's one thing I'm hoping with my new tank, I'll be able to have a bunch of cleaner shrimp and get a couple cleaner wrasses and
Hmm.
maybe just see some of that behavior with the bigger fish.
Yeah, yeah. I do see it here temporarily, but I do see it here.
Yeah,
Mostly around this spot here.
yeah. Yeah, deep reef. You know what? That's a really good point. We get all the colorful fishes and run the tank blue and never see the colors.
Yeah, yeah. No, I do love when the tank is at the peak of the day or there is white
Yep.
completely. Oh, I love it. That
Yeah.
natural look. Because
Yep.
you still see colors.
Yeah. And
And
all you
it's,
have to do is put on your orange glasses
mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
it makes it pop.
Yeah. But I do love the natural look.
Hmm.
And love the fish. I mean, I got about, what, 13 fish in a 40 gallon?
Yeah.
I just love fish too. I'm not into corals only.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm hoping when I get my fish together that I want to add all the tangs at once and hope they don't fight.
Yeah.
Because that's not something I was planning on, but suddenly it was like, oh, in my quest to find something to eat all this algae, I might have just, caused myself some problems.
Yeah. But eventually I mean, it's always at the beginning that the aggression happened. Cause like this two here, they were fighting the first day. What I did, I trapped that one for a while, the
Yeah.
bigger one. I put him in the net,
Hmm.
and I would just had him inside the water. Once I let him go, he did came at the other one again, but now with being careful. Say, let me be careful, cause he's gonna catch me again, and put me in the net again. So
Yeah.
it was bad behavior from my part, but hey, I did stop the aggression. Now they swim together. So,
Cool.
but they don't know, It's somebody new. It's like you getting somebody new in your house,
Oh yeah.
and they start using your coffee cup.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not gonna like it.
No.
So, the same thing.
Marcus was thinking about getting a bunch of blue line snappers, but I don't know. I have some reservations about it. Those are the ones you see a lot snorkeling, right? Like they're like the yellow with blue. Am I thinking of the right fish? Yeah, and he says his yellow tang is a butthead. CU is wondering if anyone names their fish. Oh, yes.
Hmm.
Yes, we do. The only fish of mine that did not have a name was the green wrasse.
Your nemesis.
Oh, boy. Yep.
Nah, so far my daughter did name almost all the fish here, but one is the only one here that has a name is Marvin, which is the
Mm-hmm.
Mandarin,
Yep.
and that one was Ariel who put the name to the Mandarin.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "Where's Marvin?" So who's Marvin? Your Mandarin. Okay, that's his name. And it
Oh,
was stuck.
and I don't have them anymore, of course, because I lost them, but I remember all of the fish from my Red Sea tank. The flame hawkfish was Armando.
Armando.
Yep. And the male Genicanthus angel was Sven. And it was him and his girlfriend Inga. Sven and Inga were the angelfish. And Sunny and Cher were my clownfish, the Darwin ocellaris.
Hmm.
The Tomini tang that I had at the time was Pamela. I decided right away she was a girl. She had to be a girl. Um, and the
They look
fox,
girly.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the fox face was Ziggy because he was Siganus unimaculatus, the one spot fox face.
Yep.
Then I had the two aurora gobies that paired up with the tiger shrimp
Yep.
or the tiger pistol shrimp. And the shrimp was called Geronimo
Geronimo.
because he leaped out of the net when we were letting him go in the tank. My husband was helping me and I was trying to lower the net getting close to the sand because
Yeah.
those things are almost blind, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So that he could just have a short journey and be near the rocks and be able to start digging. And he leaped out of the net in the middle of the water column, and I didn't know where he ended up. And luckily, it was in the front corner where I could watch them.
Mm.
And then I got the 2 Aurora gobies, and they paired up, and they were called Hebe and GB. And what other fish? Oh yeah, I had Elvis was my
I remember that.
Midas blenny. Yep, he used to hide in the barnacle. Makes me so sad when I think of those fish, but you know, maybe someday
Yeah,
I'll
that's
get
right.
another one.
I'm over here thinking, whatever happened to a fish, and then I
Yep,
forgot
yep.
the video. Wow.
It was probably the worst day of my reef keeping career. And I still don't 100% know what happened. I just have my strong suspicions that it was an oxygen problem.
Oxygen,
And yeah, it was pretty awful. But anyway, it's unfortunately a part of the hobby, and you can only try and learn from it.
Yeah, like I learned with the reactor. Oh man.
Yeah. I guess Marcus, is your yellow tang called Butthead? No, Marcus said his yellow tang is a butthead, so I'm wondering if that's its name.
Yeah, that's his name.
CU has got some names. Zippy, Zoomy, Val need a few more names. Yeah. And Taryn, of course, her Midas Blenny is called Malibu Barbie. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus has a convict tame named Zipper because he's always flying around. Cool. That's cool.
Zipper.
Yeah, I have right now 2 mollies. They're the last remaining mollies out of the 40 that I started Mollywood with. And these 2 are, well, they have to be some that were born in my tanks and survived their babyhood, their fryhood.
Okay.
And one of them is a Dalmatian, but it has, like, you know what bounce mushrooms are like, and they have those big bubbles on them?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, this molly has a couple of bubbles on it.
Huh.
And they're orange on a black and white Dalmatian molly.
Wow.
It's the weirdest thing. It doesn't bother it. It's kind of on its head, sort of behind his eye and above the gill, like at the top of the gill plate.
Yeah.
Just wondering if I got a video of it. I'm just seeing. So I'm pretty sure I did take just a short video of it. So I don't know what's up with it, but it doesn't seem to affect it eating or anything. Yeah, there it is. I'll try and upload it to my computer here and share my screen and show you guys what it looks like. Oh, it's still loading. So yeah, it's just the weirdest thing. Where's my share screen? Oh, there it is. Video file. Right here. Okay. There, see the orange bubbles? There's my bounce molly. Don't know what that orange lump is that's growing on her.
Oh yeah, wow.
It's weird, eh? Very strange, but she seems fine. Yeah, that fish moves really fast.
That's a bubble mushroom molly.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like the bounce molly. It's so strange.
Yeah, bounce molly. There you go. Wow.
Yeah.
And have you do any research to see if anything come out?
No. I don't know. I just figure it's one of those weird things. It looks like a skin condition to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I mean, I've had in the early days, you know, we started with goldfish, and that was in the days when, of course, I knew nothing. And all I did was top up the water when it evaporated. We brought them in for the winter from the pond, and we eventually got them into a 55-gallon. And so all I would ever do is just top up the water. not realizing the nitrates were probably off the charts. So I've seen what happens with fish when they get tumors, and I'm convinced now, I mean, well, and at the time even, that it's partly the water quality that contributed to that, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, they say high nitrates don't hurt fish, but I think if it's chronically high and it gets that high, it does cause issues, deformities, and things like that. But I mean, I can't prove it, and I haven't read any studies, but it just seemed to me that as the water quality got better, the fish got healthier. Go figure, right? Go figure. So that's what I was just wondering if initially, because I moved those fish over, maybe the water quality wasn't quite what it needed to be when I first put them in.
Yeah.
And it like maybe she got a parasite or an irritant in her skin or whatever, but that fish moves so fast. I can't even get a good picture of it. Well, you saw the video, it's like darting all over the place.
Yeah.
So when I watch it, I can see the bubble is bright orange, but of course in that blue light, I didn't have a filter on the camera, so you can't see it.
Yeah, that what happened to me in my fish video. I couldn't get the the cleaner rest. Picture. I had to chase them around. That's why in the first one you see me going trying to follow, and then I just point to a different fish.
Yeah.
I would chase them around.
Oh, Marcus needs to name his Tomini Tang. Yeah. My Tomini Tang that I have now does not have a name. And I think it's largely because I can't really watch the fish. Because all I can see is the top down. I can see the fish is nice and fat, which is good. He's in good condition when he does swim so that I can see his full body. He's in very, very nice shape, which is good. So I'm gonna wait till they're in the big tank and I can decide what kind of personality they have and
Can't wait. That's a nice size tank.
Yeah, it's gonna be challenging. Benny says that Marcus should name his tang Beavis. The yellow tang that's a butthead should be called Beavis. Yeah. See you. My boyfriend names his fish after military war generals. That's not a bad idea. Yeah, I'm trying to think because I had 1, 2, 3. I had at least 3 pairs of fish that were male and female, and I would like to try and do that again with the new tank. Get them so that I can get pairs, especially angelfish, if the male and female are different from each other. It's just nice.
Yeah, that'd be really nice. Really nice. I miss my friend Angel.
Yeah.
And the guy ended died basically.
Oh, you're kidding. Oh, that's too bad. Don't you hate when that happens?
Yeah. I mean, I should have known better. This guy, for more that I tried to help him, I went to his house, redo his aquascape, try to correct the flow, all that stuff. Gave him a sump. Help him do the overflow so he have a little bit more water volume. But no, he don't care about it. He thinks that just throwing stuff in the tank is just gonna magically boom. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
It's
And
like
it's
a
so
garden,
hard.
you gotta take care of it.
Yeah. And it's so hard to convince people, when they go on YouTube and they see don't quarantine your fish, it's hard on them. And just bring them home from the store and drop them in. I don't know. I understand why some of these arguments are made. However, I still think some of these arguments against quarantine are made out of misinformation. And
Definitely.
it just, yeah.
So you have to quarantine. You have to.
Well, it depends on it depends on how you value what you have. If you don't mind
Mm-hmm.
that your existing fish might get sick and all die, and there are people out there that don't care about that.
Yep.
They'll just go and replace them all. And my thing is, okay, that's fine, but look what happened with Hawaii. Hawaii's closed. And
Mm-hmm.
you might not be able to just get another one. You know, that's where we're looking right now.
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy.
No, and then all this keep happening with climate change and all that, it's gonna get even harder.
Yeah. Sorry
Gonna
if I
get even
missed it. Did you
crazier.
get an ETA on the tank? Hey, Tara, no, I didn't. Not yet. And I was saying earlier, I kind of, the way I'm expecting it to happen is one of these days I'm going to hear a truck out front of my house, and it's going to be a 53-foot semi trying to back into my driveway to unload my tank. And I will get no notice. That's what I'm expecting. That's worst case scenario. And we've been working like mad to finish out front. I say we, but it's, my husband. He let me operate the PL gun today to glue the stones together. But that's pretty much all I've been doing. But we're trying to get everything cleared out so that when the tank does come, there's a clear shot straight to the garage, so that it can be unloaded. Because the way it is right now, if the tank arrived, we'd be screwed because there's no way to get it to the garage, without without emptying one half and moving it over to the other half. It just isn't set up yet. So we'll see. Yeah, that's yeah. Oh man, I never even thought of that. Hopefully it doesn't go to your neighbors like the rocks. Yeah, and the sand. Can you imagine? Yeah.
Oh man.
I feel so sorry for the poor guy
Probably
that
will.
brought this stuff over. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, what can I do? I mean, there's no point in me getting all upset and irritated about it. I just have to roll my eyes and go, "Oh my God, no, I still gotta wait." Because in truth, there are still things I need to do. I haven't yet rinsed my sand. I have 8 40-pound bags of sand. No, that's wrong. 30-pound bags of sand to rinse. And my husband and I have talked about how to do it so that we can get it clean and dry, and then in buckets and ready to go for when the time comes. So I still have to do that. I still have to check par in the tanks in the basement and figure out what it actually is for the corals that are doing really well so that I can match it up in the new tank. Because some of my corals are just, they just look amazing, and others are struggling. My SPS are not doing great. And they're not getting the right flow, they're not getting the right light, and there's nothing I can do about it at this point. So I just have to hope that I can at least save some small frags of them and start over, and that's
Yeah.
fine. Because Hector, like, it doesn't take long. You go from a
No.
little 1-inch frag, and in 6 months you've got it's based out and starting to put up new branches
Yeah.
and corallites. So in 6 months in this hobby is nothing.
Yes. Yes. It goes flying.
Yep.
Yeah, at the beginning we're so desperate for them to grow, but once they get to the size, you like, okay, you need to slow down
I know,
now.
and you put them on the
Slow
rocks,
down.
and
You're
you put
going
them
too
like,
fast.
and you put them 6 inches apart, and it's like, oh man, there's lots of space for more when you go to the
Hmm.
coral show. Yeah, I can put them here. So you fill in the
Yep.
spaces, and then
Yep.
within months they're all doing so well. They're touching each other and they're burning each other, and one is shading another
Yep.
one, and then you go, oh, it just
Yep.
that's been my worst. I'm no good at that. So this tank, I'm putting stuff far away from each other, and I want to grow big. I want everything to
Hmm.
grow big.
Big colonies. Yeah, I know. That's what I would love to do. I want to see like corals to their full potential, a big colony going
Yep. Yep.
just good. Exactly
Yep.
how it's supposed to look in those.
Yeah. And there are so many things to
I
consider
don't
with
want to
that.
see them killing each other, but you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
hard is gonna happen because there's fighting over space.
Yeah. Well, I think of things like I have a lot of plating Montipora pieces, mainly starburst, but I have some red. I have
Mm-hmm.
a really nice lime, like a bright lime green, that was sold to me as encrusting, but it's actually a plating one. I've
Mm-hmm.
got a bunch of naughty spiral
Nice.
Palawanensis. I've got a couple really weird morphs of purple with lime green polyps. I don't know how that happened, but somehow. And when I think
Hmm.
about it, where am I going to put those so that they're not going to grow? Because they get big, they're not going to grow and shade out other stuff. Well, it has to be somewhere near the bottom.
Yeah.
So where do I put them near the bottom that isn't going to obscure the mouths of the caves that I'm building for the fish? Like, you know what I mean? There's all these
Yeah.
layers of how do I set this up so that I'm not pulling them out and moving them all the time because they're interfering with something
Yeah.
else, right? And then when you think of
Yep. Yep.
Acropora, some of them are tabling types, like the red planet. I love that. That's one of
Mm-hmm.
my favorites. And its growth habit, because most
Yeah.
people just see like a little colony, but when it's full, like when it's in a huge colony, it actually is a table. It comes out flat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's going to shade whatever's underneath
Table.
it.
Yeah.
So where do
Yep.
you
Yep.
put that? Right? So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They definitely need space. And
So
it's cool
see
when you see
you.
them in the ocean. You see fish swimming underneath the corals. It's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. CU has a pro tip for cleaning sand. Take the sand and put it into milk containers. And she said, sorry, you have a boyfriend. I'm assuming you're female, but maybe not. Any necked container, so any container
Mm-hmm.
that has a neck will work. Submerge it until it's soaked, then flip and pour out the sand while it's still underwater. Pull out the jug with the grossness still inside. Oh, I don't mind trying that. I might just try that. It cleans the sand so well, very little effort. Okay, that might be worth a
Yeah.
try. Thanks for that. I'll let you know how it works.
Well, Cindy,
So,
I'm gonna get out.
okie doke. Thanks for
All
coming
right.
by.
Thank you for having me. And
It's
thanks
always
everybody for getting me to that 1,000 subscribers. Thank
yay
you, and thank
sub
everybody
party.
for helping. Hopefully, it don't go back down.
Well, we'll
But
put
if
the
it
word out
happens,
there. We'll put the word
that's
out, and
definitely. I
it's a
promise I'm gonna
seesaw.
make more videos.
Cool, cool, cool.
All right. So
All
thank
right.
you. Have a
See you,
good night.
Hector. Take
Thanks,
care.
everybody.
Yeah.
See you.
Bye. It's always good to see what Hector's doing. So, like, seriously, everybody, if you're new to Hector's channel, I first came across him when his channel name was Beyond the Reef. And at that time, I might have even been his first subscriber. I can't remember. It was very early. It would have been under 10 anyway. And the cool stuff that he was doing was DIY. And also he was sourcing stuff on Amazon, like really inexpensive filters and pumps and stuff like that, and buying them and trying them, and just finding really inexpensive alternatives to the expensive stuff that usually is what we have to choose from. And this is going back a few years, maybe 3, 4 years now, something like that. So if you watch some of his early videos, he's got some really interesting DIY. And then even more recently, within the last 6 months, if you look for his DIY chiller video, I'm pretty sure he did make a video about that. It is such a cool idea. And in Canada, and I guess in some parts of North America, a lot of us, we don't worry too much about a chiller because we have central air in the summer. And a lot of times our summers don't get to, well, like here in Canada, we might get 40 degrees once every 10 years. It's normally low 30s at the most. So we don't really need chillers with the air conditioning and whatever, but you know what? The way Hector built this thing and the cost would probably be, I want to say under $150 maybe. Not expensive and totally DIY. It's pretty ingenious. So it's a good reason to check out his videos because aside from having beautiful tanks and doing a great job documenting what he does, he's also got some really decent, interesting DIY. So yeah. Oh, hey, Ugly Man's Reefing. Nice to see you, Shane. What time is it down there in Australia? I'm thinking 4 a.m., maybe 5. Can't remember. We have 10:11 p.m. Yeah, I'm slowly winding down because with the change in the weather, it's been hard to kind of regulate our air conditioning and all that in the new house. Um, you know how you get used to setting temperatures a certain way for certain parts of your house, and we're still trying to get used to getting the right temperature at night for sleeping. So it's kind of been up and down, and it's outside today. So I'm thinking if nobody has any questions, and I was talking to Alex today, and he said he would try and get in, but he might not because he's got some other stuff going on. But we chatted a little bit about the exciting stuff that he's has been happening this week for him. So you can always check him out on Instagram and kind of get a sense of the few things that he's showing there. So yeah. Shornsky, midday in Australia. Hey, Shornsky. Oh, lunchtime. Okay, fair enough. Yep. So really, internationally speaking, this Saturday 8 p.m. live stream works in Australia. Oh, that's good to know. I knew it was 3 a.m. in Indonesia and Philippines and Australia in that area when I do my 1 p.m. Sunday live stream. So and it ends up being on a weekday too. So I think I will wrap it for tonight because I'm tired, and it's been awesome talking to everybody tonight. It's been great to catch up. And next weekend will be the international stream. So Sunday, the 27th at 1 p.m. Eastern, I will put out a short video. Let me know in the comments if you feel like it. Should I keep putting out those reminders? Excuse me. Because I don't mind putting them together and putting them out, but if it's not something you guys need or want to watch or whatever, I mean, I have fun putting together each video. Each week is different mostly, but I don't mind not putting them out if you think that they're not needed or a waste of time or whatever. Let me know. Let me know what you think. And I'll make a decision about whether to continue with the reminders. I do always remind everybody on Instagram. So anyone who's watching the replay, thank you for being with us all this time. And let's see, I don't want to say good night before I catch everybody. Davis Jew, yeah, thanks for the stream. Ugly Man, sorry I missed the stream in full. Oh, hey, that's okay. You can always watch the replay if you feel like it. Tonight is only going to be 2 hours and 15 minutes instead of over 4 hours, like we have been going lately. All right, get new people in. Super. So everybody take care of yourselves, be safe. And there's still a little bit left of Saturday night. If you have something else to do, I think I might just actually go get some water samples and maybe do some testing before I get too tired to stay awake anymore.